I'll be calling you a radical. I want to get this up before Kamala Harris announces her run for the presidency. I talked to her aide this morning. I have serious ties with her, and she's going to announce next day or two she's going to run. So I want to say this to her. Why did you hang me out to dry? Why did you quit me? Her and I did so much work together. She was paramount on the San Onofre shutdown. The risk that I took while I was full of cancer. Now, let's talk about her path as the activist. Her mother was a gem. I knew her mother. I protested with her mother. Livermore, Livermore, Livermore. She worked at Livermore. She was Hindu. She's about that tall. She reminded me of Madeline Rice, Megan Rice, who she knew. I mean, when we used to protest at Livermore, I mean, she was, it's amazing. Now you think about it. She broke ranks, what killed her? I mean, she's a Rachel Carson. Kamala Harris' mother was a gem, and I mean a gem. She broke ranks inside. She's connected as they get. She come from a diplomatic monarchy Indian family, but she worked for Livermore, the head of the snake, and she broke ranks. She went after him, and she, you know, all her research was nuclear, giving people breast cancer. And then she gets breast cancer and dies. Sound like Rachel Carson. People used to say, Kevin, you're going to be the modern day Ray. I says, I'm not martyring myself for anyone. As I ran and rave, it's going to give you leukemia, I get leukemia. Freaking Radio Roundup. And so, remember, I didn't just go after the nuclear industry for all those years. I was going after Monsanto in a big, big way for years. Then I get multiple myeloma. And so, given a death sentence. So I want to ask Kamala. She did so much work on the San Onofre shutdown. The criminals of PG&E, you want to talk about the fires now, the Fructonium fire. How about the criminality of San Onofre? Gary started on my back. Gary got $5.3 million. He's a crook, by the way. You know, I like Chuck and those guys. Started Public Watchdogs, you know, get 600. I did all the work. Kamala, I mean, without her, we would have never pulled it off. She was on our team because of her mother. Her mother hadn't been dead very long. She was still wounded by her death, like my father wounded me when I watched him die. They tried to make a sequel out of me. So Kamala Harris was the Attorney General in those San Onofre days. It's coming up right on 7 years the next few days that San Onofre had a meltdown. I'm the guy that exposed that lie when I was in a bone marrow transplant center at LDS going in and out of a coma. You know, those guys came to me, we got it out to the media. She went after them. She raided P.V. Cherry's houses. They found the written goods from Warsaw, written right on it. She says, we got more than we bargained for, they're going to prison. She went after PG&E. She went after the California Public. He was head of the California, he worked for the taxpayers of California. She went after him. I mean, he went after us in public. I mean, there's a hearing out there. He tells us to go fuck ourselves in public. But I want to ask Kamala one thing. Why'd you quit me? Why did everybody quit me? You know, after I did all this work and you rallied around me and I had cancer and you guys just all hung me out to dry. You just left me to die. You said you were going to lock him up. And then you ran for the Senate and you didn't. And Jerry Brown, the attorney, know this. The judge, the Yale connection, Kavanaugh, that overturned the, we want to see Jerry Brown's emails in the collusion. It was not only Jerry Brown's classmate at Harvard, Kavanaugh Law, it was his roommate. Now, wouldn't that be automatically recusing Kamala? Well, Kamala, she gave up her Attorney General position to run for the United States Senate. Now, Barbara Boxer, I'm connected with them too, was head of the committees. Barbara Boxer's office did a lot of good work with me, you know, and I worked with them closely. San Onofre and Fukushima, the same thing. We had hearings, the whole thing. But I will say this about Kamala. So when everybody signed up for their super PAC earlier this year, there was an insane bill put forward by the nuclear lobbies who put all these bills forward, where they said they were going to force the United States military to borrow energy from private nuclear reactors like Diablo Canyon and such. Cory Booker signed on, Lisa Murkowski signed on, of course, both Crapo, the Idaho National Lab nightmare evil, they signed on. She didn't. Feinstein's been the only United States senator that's used the word Fukushima since it's been classified. And of course, we know what corporatist she is. I want to ask Kamala, why'd you quit me? I mean, everybody quit me. You think about it. Left me to die. You hung me out to dry. I did all the dirty work on cancer. I mean, all the dirty work at San Onofre. And you did it with me. You helped me. You were my friend. like your mother. Your mother was a gem. Your mother was one of the fiercest anti-nukers there was, and look how she died. I mean, she was, I mean, what an activist she was. She got cancer and died. That's what happens to all of us, right? You know, they threw Megan Rice, her friend, in prison. Remember, Kamala? That was your mother's friend, Madeline. They threw Megan in prison. Barack Obama threw her in prison. Obama didn't want to shut down San Onofre. I mean, so we need to know, and I need to know, because our group and the anti-nuclear establishment, the Fukushimas, like Fukushima kills the sea, we need to know people's stance. Now, I'm going to be talking to Elizabeth Warren. I'm going to get her stance. We need to know. Trump, I couldn't get anything out of him. What about Fukushima? Oh, you get in a car wreck, you don't start driving. That was his response. And he knows about Fukushima because I got close to him and asked. He wouldn't respond. You know, Bernie Sanders said pulled the plug. You know, that's why I voted for him. Of course, Hillary, she flipped back and forth so many times, make your head spin off on nuclear energy. The bailout, the subsidies, the welfare thing. You know, I'll tell you right now, Kamala, and I hope this gets to you. And you know I was a big fan of yours and a big supporter of yours, and you were me too. I want to thank you for everything you did on San Onofre, and you did for me. You gave me a lot of political cover in California. I did a lot of stuff, including wrote Fukushima killed me on the well. I appreciate your work, but why did you quit us? What, because you ran for Senate and you're up against the establishment? You don't come out full blown out against the nuclear energy and start talking Fukushima as you run. Our group will not support you. Now, we're only going to support whoever comes out against them. Whoever uses the word Fukushima comes out and says, hey, you know, we're gonna go at them. In the name of your mom. Your mom was a gem. I knew her. I protested with her. All those great anti-nukers, all those great human rights activists. God, they were fierce. They were intelligent. It's amazing how they all get cancer, huh? So I want to ask you, you know, you got the goods. You said you're going to lock them up and you put them in jail, and you didn't. Now, I understand. You know, you ran for Senate and you handed over the keys, and the new Attorney General wasn't about to go after them. You know, so we need to know your stance on nuclear. I want to get this up before you announce you're going to run, because we want to know who we need to support. You know, I'm going to be talking to Elizabeth Warren on nuclear, and anybody that doesn't use the Fukushima word and doesn't come out, come on, your mom was the epidemiologist at freaking Livermore. You know how many times I protest? Livermore is Satan. They're Satan. She stood up to him. She stood up. Anybody that says they're Hindu or says they're Buddhist and likes, remember, I walk with Heath, the monk, to Diablo every year. He and I walk together. We do the Buddhist chant. I'll be doing it again. Just he and I. We're the ones who walk the whole time, you know, Mothers for Peace. California's got a lot of things right as far as environmentally, but they won't talk Fukushima. You know, remember you raided the house in Warsaw? You raided his house, found the handwritten goods, and you were going to put him in prison. Remember PNEG and Jerry Brown retracts. My names are all over those emails, by the way. Remember when I said we're going to hit the beach, we're going to hit the beach, we're going to hit the beach? That was my group. Remember at the shutdown hearings when we turned the tables on them? Remember when I snuck into San Onofre multiple times? Remember the video we got out to your office? When I was so full of cancer, I was dying. They killed your mother, you know. That's what they do. Stand up to them like she did. Stand up to them like she did, and I'll support you. We'll support you. You know, and you'll win. It's going to be a female win. Even the Republicans are going to nominate a Republican. It'll be Murkowski. But she signed on because they want to be the next Barry Antoinette Obama. And they know Obama, Axelrod, and the nuclear cartel put him in office. You know that. You know that. So Cory Booker, he made the fatal mistake. He signed on to that bill. So did Lisa Murkowski. So did Crapo. I mean, all of them did. So Liz Warren didn't. You didn't. It's going to be one of you two. But you got to come out against the nuclear. Or Bernie. You know, Bernie's already said he's against to pull the plug. But, you know, he's involved in some nuclear waste stuff that I don't like. You know. First one that comes out fierce, I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, or maybe it'll be Robin Hood. Maybe it'll be me. Robin Hood's just a cardboard cutout running on the anti-nuclear, on the environmental program, the Real Green Party. Not Jill Putin Stein. Fuck, what a sham that was, huh? What a criminal she is. No. So, in the name of your mother, which she was a gem. What an activist. A real one. Now, we know you're connected. You got all the connections, and, you know, and you're with this. We know, I mean, it's easy to track where you came from as far as education. We know what Berkeley is. We know the academia. I broke ranks. We know what they did to me. But I'm the real professor, and the tide is turning, for the tables have turned. So I wanted to get this up before you run. You did all that work. Everybody did. Everybody did all that work, you know. Based on Kevin Blanch's hardcore grassroots fundamental. I'm the guy that broke that back. You rode my back, and then y'all hung me out to dry. You spit in my face and left me to die, literally. You know, on my own, walking the coast of California, dying. I was given, remember, I was so, oh God, I can't believe it. That's going to be that long ago. 7 years going in and out of coma, leaking all that stuff. The work we did at Senate, I mean, it was paramount. The shutdown of San Onofre is one of the marquee freaking events in world history. Remember, we're going to hit the beach on D-Day. We're going to hit, that was my army, my post-Irish army, and they announced on D-Day. Don't underestimate my work. For we're few and you're many, but I want to get this up in the name of your mother. Livermore is Satan. Anybody that works for Livermore, anybody that has 1 cent draw for Idaho National Lab, Livermore, Trump's an insane nuclear madman. Just throwing more. His last crowning jewel is the wall shut down. Or excuse me, the wall political theory. He had 2 years to do something about the wall. He didn't do anything. It's all red meat for his base. He's afraid of his base. He's afraid of Sean Hannity. That's all it is. Sean Hannity's coaching him. That's all it is. Make the country pay the price for it. He could have shut down. He could have built the wall. He had 2 years. He had Congress. He had the Senate. He had the Supreme Court. Kavanaugh, he had it all. Didn't do nothing. Now he wants to turn it into a political football because he's afraid of Sean Hannity. So, the last crowning jewel of the Teabagger Congress from 2010 to 2016, their crowning jewel, 2 bills that Trump did sign, his last 2 bills. He signed a bill to promote more nuclear energy. Why Fukushima's killing the ocean. We have nowhere to put the waste of San Onofre. I'll get that waste off. And to kill sea lions in Oregon. Trump signed it. That's his last 2 crowning jewels. That's Congress's last 2 crowning jewels. Never forget that. As they won't sign the shutdown to keep the government going, which has nothing to do with the wall. It has to do with the government. It's political theater. It's Sean Hannity running the field. He changed TVs, Mike TV. He used to watch Alex Jones. That phony paid Putin freaking rat. The Russians have occupied the White House, Kevin Blanch, on November the 5th, 3 days before the election 2016. Play back the tape, Your Honor. I climbed the statue with my real Russian hat. So they've occupied, they stole it. I knew it then. You wouldn't listen to me. You never listened to me. Don't underestimate my army. Come out against nuclear energy. Use the Fukushima word in the name of your mother. I have hope for you because of your mom. Real activist. She was a gem. Let's see, but Barack Obama didn't kill his mom. I mean, his mom died. She was a downwinder, died young. He didn't care. You know, Mike Lee's dad died young. He don't care. People don't care. I was in the bone marrow transplant with Governor Herbert's father. He don't care. He don't care. No respect. I care when they murdered my father. Archie in the Nevada test site, murdering from San Onofre. Pendleton, right there. San Onofre. Right there, my place. See you in San Diego soon. Hope it gets to Kamala before she announces. She's going to announce the next couple of days, but we need to know. First person that freaking breaks ranks and goes after Fukushima and sends the Navy into entombment like they want to do in the first place. That's who we're going to back. And if not, we'll have to run on our own. We'll put up Robin Hood. She's a cardboard cutout. Don't you be one. Don't you be one like the rest of them. Like Obama was a nuclear cardboard cutout. Like Trump's Fox News freaking useful idiot. Stand tuned. Come on, Kamala. In the name of your mother. Use the Fukushima word. You did so much good work at San Onofre. You know, don't leave us hanging. Stand tuned.